To our Unwind tonight. I'm going to start our class tonight with just a little, I don't know if to call it a poem, more like a prose. Um, our theme tonight is a heavy release, and our meditation is a guided visualization called the Cauldron. And funny that we were just chatting about, working through some different things in our own spaces of our life from time to time, especially just right now. January seems to be a big time for doing that, not just because it's the new year, but it seems to be a space that we often have in our cycle of our year, where even when it's not a pandemic, it's a little more downtime. It's cold, it's winter, we're home more, we tend to go out less and do less. So then there's more space. And when there's space, then we think. And when we think, we end up in different spaces within ourselves. And I've been kind of going through one of those personally. So I've been in a little bit of a vulnerable space myself emotionally this last few days. And I was online, and there's an author, J.M. Storm, and I follow him on most of my social media. He's very insightful. I don't know if I would call him inspiring, but he's very insightful. And as I was crafting our practice tonight, this came up on my social media, and I thought that it was a fitting start for us as we kind of like really start to lean into our practice tonight. So I'll invite you guys to come to something that's seated and comfortable for you as we get started. You know that we don't have to be cross-legged. This is very comfortable for me, but whatever is comfortable for you, and that could be, since you're home, you could be sitting on the edge of your bed, you could be leaning up against a wall, you could be cross-legged, something underneath your sit bones, your legs can be forward, whatever will support you comfortably as we start to arrive in our practice tonight. And I just want you to close your eyes and maybe just take a big sigh and let go of that big weight you're probably carrying that you didn't even know you had sitting on your chest all day, or maybe you did. But even when we're in a really good space, often when we stop and we close our eyes, there's a big sighing release as we let go of whether they're small things like I forgot to turn over the laundry, or bigger things that we carry in our personal life, our family life, our work life. So just take a sigh or two. Let your sit bones be grounded. Start to soften up your body in all those places that you know that you hold tension. And this prose that showed up for me today, it felt fitting for a lot of people that I've spoke with and who cross my path, that they are struggling with different things. A lot of it is just unknown anxiety, right? There's so much uncertainty, and everyone seems very, very anxious, and a lot of us don't understand why. So this says, don't deny what you feel. To do so won't make it go away, but it only buries it deeper. Sometimes it makes us react without thinking. Acknowledge it. Dig down to the roots in order to start to understand it. There's a power in acknowledgement and understanding. You can feel things deeply and still keep your shit together. And that last line was kind of huge for me personally today. It made me smile and laugh a little bit, but it also is just a reminder that even when all the chaos is there, if we just take a moment and pause, we dig down deep and see what's really causing whatever we're feeling. Notice if we're reacting or responding. Kind of take back our power. Because we can be really sensitive, we can feel things really deeply and still keep it all together. We're just going to keep the eyes closed and move a little bit before we come into our restorative practice tonight. And we're going to reach into the neck, the side body, the spine. So take a big breath in and lift your ribs up out of your hips. Get really, really tall. Pause at the top of your inhale and then soften your shoulders. Notice if they came up to the ears with you when you took that breath. Soften the lines in the forehead. Relax your jaw. Sip in a little bit more air. Big sigh, let the breath go. And then come just to breathe normally, whatever feels natural for you. We're going to release through the neck. So bringing right ear towards the right shoulder, leaving the shoulders down and back. And then shifting and moving the chin up, down, side to side until you find your line of tension. You can extend your left arm if that helps you engage that line. And by engage, I mean just become aware of it, slip into it, and then breathe. So that the inhale almost feels a little bit uncomfortable as that space really starts to expand. With a big breath out, you start to feel it shift and unwind. And if it moves, you can move your chin to find it again because it didn't go far. Big exhale here. Take one more breath into that space. You might notice it starts to shift and change and release. Maybe it's not as intense. On your exhale, we're going to drop the chin, roll the head forward, keeping the spine tall, the shoulders soft and melted back. So you start to feel this through the back of the neck, right into the top of the spine that resides between the shoulder blades. And maybe just slowly let the head roll just a little tiny bit side to side. You're going to feel it through that space between the shoulder blades. You can feel it into the sides of the neck, but only if this feels accessible. You might just pause with the chin tucked in and breathe there. Take one more breath here into whatever space you feel like you need to send it. And on your inhale, we're going to start to roll the head towards the left. So the left ear is starting to come towards the left shoulder. And again, you're going to search for that tension. And oddly, the tension might be on the top of the neck, which is kind of where we're searching for, but it might be on the underside too, depending on how your body's feeling. So explore it and pause when you find your space. Breathe into that slight discomfort. Feel it move and expand. We're going to take one more breath here. Big inhale. With the out breath, we're going to drop the head forward again, rolling through as you tuck the chin in. And again, maybe this time you do roll it side to side. Maybe the roll is a little bigger and it comes all the way to one side and all the way up to the other. You can always pause and hold it in stillness. I want you to explore any tension or soreness around your neck. You might feel pops, hear some internal sounds. Be mindful, listen to the body so that you don't go places that it's asking you not to. But enjoy the sensation of the release in some of these spaces. And then we're going to drop the chin back down. And you can use a hand to guide the head up to center with an inhale if that is helpful, depending on how the neck feels. So coming all the way back up to a tall spine. We're going to take our hands behind your back. Options to interlace your fingers or to take opposite wrists or maybe opposite elbows. We're going to take a heart opener here. So whatever bind is accessible or feels best. You can squeeze the shoulder blades back. If you have fingers interlaced, draw the knuckles down. Lift the heart. Maybe the gaze lifts up. Slow breath into that heart space. You might feel, again, some pops, some release from the neck all the way down the spine. You can move your arms away from the back if that's something that your shoulders will allow. Take one more full breath in whatever bind you have. Exhale, soften so the arms can come back down towards the knees. Reach forward, take a big breath so the hands start to reach up towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers again, press the palms tall. Open through the shoulders, the biceps. Maybe there's something that feels like a little back bend here as you press the hands back. Full breath in. As we exhale, release the fingers. Left hand comes to right knee. We're going to take a gentle twist here. So let your right hand come behind you to support. Big breath, get tall through the spine. Exhale, very gentle. We start a twist. And your twist can be almost nothing, just a little bit of opening to the side. But you're going to explore how this feels through your body and how much space there is to wring out some of your tension here. Each inhale you get tall, reaching through the crown. And as the breath goes, you soften the sit bones, the face, sink gently into your twist. As we inhale this time, very gently with control, we're going to come back to center, reach the arms back up overhead. Big expanded hands reach like you're trying to touch the ceiling. Your gaze can come all the way up. Try and open all the spaces that would feel really good to expand. And on your exhale, we twist the other side. So right hand to left knee. Left hand comes behind to support you. Inhale, get long, grow through the crown of the head. Exhale, twisting. Try and slow your breath down if it's becoming rapid. Sometimes as we wring out the spine, we're wringing out the energy. And sometimes there's things that start to escape really quickly that shift the breath. Try and keep it slow and gentle. We'll take one more breath cycle here. Exhale completely. Bring yourself back to center. And make any adjustments to your seated position that you need, and then close your eyes one more time. We're going to take a little bit of breath, and we're going to come back to the same breath we've been working with the last few weeks, which is Vritti, which is simply breath awareness. And that almost seems like it's not a challenging practice for us, as we've been together and doing this for a while together. But intentional breath, sometimes even after really long extended practices, just coming to watch, slow down, mindfully breathe, can be the most challenging practice there is, because we have to sit in this space. So allow your heart to come right over your hips, to have a beautiful channel for the breath to move through. And maybe take a big sigh as a cleansing exhale, if that would serve you, as we start to come to watch the breath. And breathe naturally, calmly. Allowing each breath to evolve and take its own course. Noticing if you're having any resistance as you lengthen and deepen your breath, so it starts to reach all the way down to the bottom of the belly and right to the very top of the lungs. Stress, trauma, anxiety, tension, uncertainty, these are all things that contract our lungs, make it more difficult, or almost feel like there's that resistance, that pushback as we breathe. So focus your awareness on each breath. Feel every single detail of each one. And you have always the option to pause at the top of the breath and really sit in that engagement, the energy that's contained in the prana of a full deep breath. Or you can just allow the breath to shift and move mindfully through you. You have all the control. In our practice tonight with our breath awareness, I want you, completely at your own pace, to leave the body as soft as you can, the face, the forehead, the shoulders, the heart, the core, the legs, all of it. Start to, just in your mind, quietly count the length of your inhale. It's not a challenge, just to be acknowledging the slow length of your inhale. You might choose to pause at the top or not. And then mindfully see if you can lengthen your exhale just a little bit longer than your inhale was. So using your count to guide you. So we're going to focus here on this lengthened inhale, very intentional, noticing every single shift of each individual breath. The lengthened, mindful exhale. We're going to stay here for about 3.5 minutes and just breathe, all on your own pace, your own cycle, your own practice. Whether that breath is in through the nose, out through the nose, or in through the nose, out through the mouth, whatever, it's your practice. Noticing if you're letting the tension come back into the physical body, taking the moment on the exhale to let it go. And your observance, you're noticing if there exists any resistance. And that's okay if there is, we're just noticing it. We're going to take 2 more of your breath cycles, 2 more inhales and exhales. And once you finish that second breath, take a cleansing breath, a big deep breath in, and a big sigh. And then just let your breath come back to its normal flow, whatever that is for you. But don't let go of the awareness, the observation. And our first restorative shape tonight is going to be a forward fold, and the intention is to bring the heart forward. And in doing that, we're also going to lengthen through the back a little bit just for some softness and some release. So the shape of your fold is going to be your choice. So you can take it with your legs crossed, with or without something underneath your sit bones. You could take your legs forward taking it supported. You could roll a blanket, pop them under the knees, put a pillow under your knees. You could put your bolster under your knees. If you don't want to fold forward too much, you could place blocks on your lap or pillows on your lap, whatever you have accessible for you at home for your practice. If having your legs wide in dragonfly straddle is something that would be a preferred shape for your forward fold, if you have an actual bolster at home, you can always put it on its end and place your forehead, third eye chakra on that bolster. So this is a very supported forward fold. We're going to be here for a little while, maybe 6 or 7 minutes. So take a little bit of time here to find your way into a fold that would feel really good, to come forward and let the weight of your day spill off of you. I'm going to choose to come to Sukhasana, which is cross-legged. I'm going to bring my bolster just across my lap, and I'm just going to drape myself over it. Lots of choices, lots of options. Take a slow, deep breath in once you've decided on what might really support you. And then just start to bring yourself forward. Let your head and your neck dangle. Or at least come forward from the spine. If it would feel good to support your wrists on something, blocks, something softer, there's always that option as well. When you get there, take a slow, deep breath in. Big sigh, let it go. And then draw inward the space of your heart. See if you can unravel any tension that exists in your body, your face. And then the subtle body as well, your energy, your spirit. Tuning back into the anchor of your breath. Take a slow breath in. Expand through the back side of the body. Big sigh to let it go. Inhale, taking another breath just like that. Big sigh. Allowing the hands to come somewhere to support you as you start to lift the heart back up towards center. And drop the chin so it tucks in towards the chest and just pause. Allow the blood pressure to realign, reacclimatize in the body. Open the eyes. So our next shape is called supported Shavasana, but it's prone, so on our stomach. So whether you have rolled blankets, a bolster, or a few pillows that you're going to use at home, we're going to bring the bolster so that it's along the length of our mat. And then you can bring a block or some pillows and maybe a blanket to stack to support your head. I'm navigating my puppy here as well. And we're going to come gently to your knees first. And as you come up on your knees, you might like to take a blanket, if you have one, and roll it to rest underneath the crest of your ankles. It's just an option. Definitely doesn't feel good for everyone, but sometimes that space when we support it just feels like a space where it helps us let go. And we're going to come down so your upper body is on your bolster. The chin up is off. And you place something underneath your forehead, so that block or the pillow or whatever you're using supports the center of your forehead space. And then just let the arms come down. And they can be down along the sides of your body if that feels better or accessible. The elbows can be bent with the forearms down. You can reach your arms ahead. You can also take a cheek if that feels better than having your forehead down. And I'll cue us halfway through so that you can turn your gaze. So take a few breaths here to find your way into a shape that feels supported. You don't often shavasana on our front, so it can be a different experience. But our heart is compressing downward. And we want to bring all of our awareness into that space. When you make your way to your shape, And you know you always have the option to change where we're going. So coming right down just onto the floor on your mat with your cheek down feels so much better than, of course, that's available to you. And take your big sighing exhale when you get into your shape. Let everything melt. Draw your awareness inward. And if you have your gaze in one direction, take a slow breath in and very gently allow yourself to change the direction of your gaze. When you settle back in, take a sighing breath.
And just deepening the breath on the next 3 inhales. Letting each breath be a little bit more intentional than the one before it. And hands come down to the floor. Take your time as you start to press the floor away. Going to shift towards something that looks like hands and knees. And if you have a blanket roll under your ankles, you can just use your toes to tuck it away. And with the wrists under the shoulder, knees under the hips, just take a breath here. Sometimes it can be a very big sensation release when we let go of the compression through the front line of the body. Notice what you're feeling. Breathe through it. And then maybe move just a little bit here. Some cat and cow. You could drop the core and then gently round the spine. You can move side to side, or even find your way to something that looks like child's pose, if that would feel really good. And then our next shape is where we're going to take our guided visualization tonight. And I'll invite you to something that's a more traditional Shavasana with support underneath the knees. You can bring blocks towards the sides of the body as a place for the forearms and the wrists to rest, or they could come right down to the floor. And something different tonight, if you happen to have an extra blanket that you might want to try. Fold your blanket in half, so from short ends, so it's still nice and long. So short ends are folded over, and you can open it right up. And place it across your mat, right around where your heart space is going to be as you come down. My meditation cushion. And I know you may not have had your blankets ready, so take a moment to take one and make your fold if you wanted to try this tonight. Also taking this opportunity for socks or sweaters and grabbing that extra blanket that you might want for over your body as we come down. And as you come down onto your mat with your back right on the floor, your support under your knees, you want your blanket to be underneath your armpits, so under the shoulders, and we're going to tuck it around. So wrap it around the heart, around the torso, and tuck it under your other side, so it's nice and snug. And then the other side, same thing, and you want to draw it so it's really snug, almost like a giant bear hug. And you want to just kind of adjust it for your body size, how high you want it to be, and then tuck it. And it comes to be almost like a corset. that is giving you a nice tight squeeze in place of something like a weight bag, which we likely won't have at home. And then let the arms, again, come down. They can come down to the floor. They can come to rest on a block. Whatever feels good. They might be out towards the sides. Take a few moments here to set yourself up. And if you're trying the wrap with the blanket, it's okay to take a moment or two here to negotiate it. Get it nice and as tight as is comfortable for you. And then close the eyes. Start to bring your awareness back to the shift of your breath. Letting go of any tension that might have crept in. Each exhale, softening creases in the forehead. Releasing the jaw and letting the tongue drop away from the top of the mouth. Torso, shoulders, arms. Everything starts to melt down towards the floor, fully supported. No muscle engagement required. Bring all your awareness your shifting of prana up into the space behind the third eye. Noticing what you can see with your eyes closed as we start to tune in. And I want you to start to see yourself. Visualize yourself. You're standing on a high cliff top of a beautiful mountain range, and you are the only one there. Feel the temperature of the air. The smell of crisp, clean mountain breezes. The view that is splayed out in front of you. And there's sparse vegetation. It's spring, so it's warm. The dirt around you is dry.
surrounded by a vast, expansive, and open sky. You notice the color, all the things you can see surrounding you. And at your feet, you have a small iron cauldron. And as you stand here, you begin to fill the cauldron with pieces of yourself. Pieces from inside your heart. Take a big breath and feel. Feel everything. Dive deep inside. See it all. And then start to pull it out. The pain, fears, anger, sorrow, grief, things that feel like a loss. Reach down deep into the heart space, deeper into the soul space. One after the other, pulling them out, dropping them into the cauldron. There might be more than you expected, and as you clear one away, something else comes in its place. That's okay. And when you find it, you might feel. And that's important. And as you draw it out and place it in the cauldron, notice a lightness that comes with that. Drawing out whatever troubles you. Whatever feels like a weight. All of this taken out of your body, from your energy, from your spirit, leaving you as it enters the cauldron. And then you pick up the cauldron by the handle with both hands. And you start to swing it around your body. You feel your muscles in your arms and your back start to ache with the weight. Your toes dig into the ground to anchor you down as you spin around and around. And as you fling the cauldron over the side of the cliff with all of your might, you let out a mighty yell. And when you watch, there's all the liquid in that cauldron disperses and separates into tens of millions of tiny droplets spread far, far out and wide, down across the cliffside, to the air, and to the sky. Until slowly they're gone completely. And you feel a sensation of weight lifted from your heart. You feel light, happy, unburdened, freed. And you're just here in this beautiful place, glorious sky, sunshine, fresh breeze, feeling happy, feeling light, feeling freed. And breathing in that light, unburdened sense. Drawing it deeper into your body so that it fills up your heart space. It fills up the space behind your eyes. It starts to wash in and through every cell and space in your body. As you turn away from the cliff's edge, your awareness starts to draw back in towards the space behind your eyes. Returning to where you lay comfortably on your mat. Aware of the floor beneath it, beneath you as it supports you. Aware of any blankets that might be wrapped or tucked around your body to support you. Aware of the air that caresses any exposed skin, the temperature, any sense that you notice in the air. And your awareness expanding to the edges of your energy, sounds that might very gently start to break into your present moment from the spaces around you. And that awareness draws back towards the breath. Noticing each and every inhale and exhale. How they feel as they pass through you. And allowing the next breath to be really deep and full so that the inhale drops right down to the base of the stomach as the belly rises. The ribs expand, the heart lifts. Open the mouth, big sigh. Bringing back movement through fingers and toes. Letting the head drop from side to side. Inviting any other movement in as we start to eventually make our way up towards seated. So you could take your arms overhead and take a big good morning stretch. You could bring your knees to chest with a squeeze and rock and roll side to side. Then unhurried, coming up towards seated. Letting the sit bones get heavy down. Lifting your heart back up onto a tall spine. The eyes close back down just for a moment. As you come back to that sense of light, unburdened space. Maybe you bring a hand to heart. Let it rest against your breastbone. Just a little compression to breathe into. And then bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment here to honor your practice. A moment here to honor yourself. Remind yourself you're doing really great. You're doing what you can. And coming to your mat to practice is you taking care of you. And that's us doing the best we can. As always, thank you for sharing your practice with me and allowing me to guide it tonight. It is always my honor. I hope you have an easy and a fantastic rest of your week. Namaste.